you're right. Those are some long movies. You know what? I always wanted to be an elf. No, not that kind of elf. The high fantasy elf, like Legolas from Lord of the Rings, or the elves you can be in D&D. That elf. They're so observant and acrobatic and graceful and... Do you think I would make a good elf? What? You think you would do better? Okay, tell you what. Let's go learn all about those elves, and then we'll compete to see who would keep up the best. Okay? Pa? You gotta shake on it. Okay, good job. All right, ready? Let's go! Come on! To figure out what competitions Arbor and I should do, we need to talk to some fantasy experts.
My name is Jillian Colton. I am an artist and educator.
So when I say elf, what do you think of?
The first thing I think of is Tolkien's elves. So like the very stereotypical tall, long hair. They're always singing songs or walking gracefully in the woods. Yeah.
Great. They're a fun elf. They're the one that we're going to focus on today. So that's perfect.
Fantastic.
My name is Jennifer Garrettson. I have a background in biology and life sciences, and I've also read like a lot of books of science fiction, fantasy, and more recently I have been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, some especially like a dungeon master, a game master. Although of course I think of Legolas first, I still am reserving a part of me that thinks an awful lot about the Fae. And although the word elf tends to make me think more of like, you know, Tolkien's elves, there still is this wilder version that is much more capricious and varied that I also think of.
In this episode, we're going to be focusing on that sort of that high elf Tolkien style and all of their cool abilities. So thinking of those sorts of elves, what are some of their sort of classic biological advantages that they might have?
Yes. So long life.
Right.
Heightened senses. A sort of mysterious and slow kind of magic. Not flashy, but especially if you think about Tolkien's elves and sort of that group of elves, that they have sort of a nurturing kind of magic. It's not like they're out there casting spells, but you know, perhaps sometimes aided by rings and things like that, they're able to cultivate a place of magic, which I think is also another one of their skills, is sort of a communion with the natural world that humans do not have, and that may in fact be a bit of a source of their magic. But you sort of think about common elf magic in addition to sort of that natural nurturing one. Another is like clairvoyance, visions, and a little bit of telepathy, or at least being able to like, you know, let your lover know that you are in danger or that you are thinking about them. They're able to communicate across great distances that they are in danger or whatever. In the movies, there's a couple examples of Arwen and Aragorn, but that you could still, even in the original literature, that there would be examples of kind of knowing what's up. Getting a disturbance in the force kind of thing. That sort of
Elves
stuff.
in the Forest, a classic
Yeah,
combo.
exactly. Yeah, and actually Jedi are a little bit similar to elven kind of abilities. One of the other sort of parallels I often think of for elves in sort of modern cinema and storytelling are Vulcan, and that Vulcans are clearly space elves, and they also have some of those abilities, not just a pointed ear, but the being able to be telepaths, empaths, and having unusual skills, you know, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
As soon as you said it, I was like, of course.
Right? Yeah, and that sort of whole idea that, I mean, this is similar to folklore for all kinds of creatures that we're sort of talking about, but specifically the ones that are a bit like us, but are just a little bit different, like that capital O, other, and the Tolkien's elves, we've othered ourselves from nature. It might be like the division that human and elves have in that sort of tradition, and then with Vulcans and humans, that idea that Vulcans have removed themselves from emotion, making them sort of other from humans. And so I think like elves often kind of serve that that role of the other in storytelling, which is something that people need to handle delicately and mindfully when they're discussing this kind of thing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
What are some elven biological advantages you can think of?
My name is O'Darren Tobin. I am a big sci-fi and fantasy geek and have been for pretty much my whole life. I've been into Dungeons and Dragons for many years now, as well as playing some other tabletop games in which I've played and been the game master for. And I'm also writing my own sci-fi narrative podcast with some friends. Quick speed, reaction times. The main one is that they can see so good. They actually see the curvature of the planet they're on.
Wow.
Some of them, I think not all of them, but some of them. But they see really well. They have heightened senses, and they are immortal.
That's a big advantage. Yeah.
Well, since eyesight was mentioned so much, it seems like it's the place to start. This is gonna go great. Just great for me. Time to find an animal expert to help us out.
My name is Bianca Kumar. I am a veterinarian assistant, like technician assistant, and I also help up in reception as well.
Hi, Bianca and Kiana. Thanks for meeting us here today to talk all about vision. Vision and how we might compare to elf vision, because they have really good eyesight. We're competing to see who could be more elf-like. So this is the first test. So what are the differences between human and dog vision?
So the main difference between human and dog vision is that dogs have fewer cones than humans do. They mostly have rods, so their color scheme is a little bit of a mix of like a blue and yellow and a bit of a kind of a gray scale.
Ah, okay. And rods are what we used to see, that black and white, and cones are what we used to see color?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I would love to do a bit of an eye test
Awesome.
for both Arbor and I. So if you could hold this lovely chart for me, I will go over here. Okay, it's my turn. All right, we're gonna try with the left eye first because it's better. If I do this, I think I can read the bottom line. LEFODPCT, I think. Okay, and now with the right eye, it's much worse. All right. No, line 6 is the one I think. EDFCZF. Ah, it's a P. Okay, well, I was okay, right?
You did it. You tried.
I tried. That's what elves care about.
Yeah.
It's just effort.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna do one for Arbor.
Okay.
That's more for colors. We'll see if he was trying to steal all of these things earlier in the day. So if I can just get you to hold that. Let's see. He's very interested in it. Okay, we're gonna compare your eyes. Okay, Arbor, what do you see here? Do you see? Well, that one's not speaking. Is that one? Do you see this one? You see this one? Oh, some of them squeak. No, that one doesn't squeak. Do you see them all? Yeah? Where do you see him looking most at this board if I just...
Right now he was looking at me, but
There's a door making things.
you notice that one?
Okay. Seems to be mostly sound focused, but he desperately wants the board. Okay, so of that eyesight test, who do you think won?
It was a tight race, but I'm gonna have to say it goes to Arbor.
Oh! That's fair. I shouldn't have done an eyesight test. I have notoriously weird eyesight.
I can't compete with Arbor.
I can't compete with Arbor. I'm gonna keep trying though. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Well, we'll probably be back later as we learn more about elves and come back to do more tests.
Sounds good.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Bianca. Are you ready to come with me? Okay.
I'm just gonna take my dog and leave that contest in the past. Because elves are good at a lot of things, right, fantasy experts?
So from those biological advantages, what are some of the classic special elven abilities that they have?
So crafting is a big one. It's crafting and smithing. They forged some weapons of fantastic power. There's also archery, obviously, is a very big one. combat prowess, swordsmanship, singing, and music. They have a great ability to sing and create powerful ballads that move mortals. And yeah, also, of course, things like eyesight and things like their ability to heal as well is better than the human ability to heal.
When you say ballads to move humans, what do you mean? Or move mortals?
I mean that some elves have dedicated a long time to creating beautiful songs and such. But also in texts like the Silmarillion, there's an elf who's so good at singing that she literally puts the big bad evil guy to sleep with her voice.
Wow.
Yeah, so elves, some of their songs are so good it's almost magical, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like a really effective use of the sleep spell.
Yeah, exactly.
By a bard.
Yeah, exactly. She's a really powerful bard. At high level, that guy had a lot of hit points.
What are some classic elven special abilities?
Yeah, so the combination of being able to live forever, essentially, unless brought down by grief or violence, you have a lot of time. And you have excellent senses. So that means that you can develop almost anything that you like to a very high degree. Everything from the arts, being able to design beautiful rings of power, let's say, to take down a massive elephant-like creature with a single arrow, or like dance through the battlefield, or hide into the shadows, tell stories to break people's hearts, that sort of thing. Like those sort of abilities, I think, all kind of stem from both the elvish patience and heightened senses.
That makes a lot of sense. Archery, I've done a few lessons, and you're like, wow, it's going to take a long time for me to get good at this.
Yes. Yeah. Right? And that's elves, they have time.
They have time. Mm-hmm. So do you think elves would have good reaction time?
I think they would have great reaction time. I think one practice over many, many years, as well as like they have heightened senses as well. So their ability to perceive things before a human would perceive them and then react to them before a human would react to them is pretty important, I think. Yeah.
So there's a couple barriers to becoming elf-like in that, like your senses,
Yes.
your lifespan, your...
Yeah, the amount you
Healing
can
powers
practice,
and, yeah.
healing powers, if you have a connection to nature that lets you manipulate the elements, that would be helpful.
I'll work on that. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now, reaction time seems like something I definitely have more of a chance at than vision. Back to Bianca and Kiana at the Center Street Vet Clinic.
All right, we've come back because we've learned that elves are pretty good in combat and they have really good agility and gracefulness and really good reaction time. So what is the difference between human and dog reaction time?
Well, it might not come as a surprise, but dogs generally have a higher or faster reaction time than humans. I believe it's about 25% faster than humans. So the time it takes them to see a stimuli, receive it, and react to it is about 25% faster than humans.
Oh, so I'm at just an immediate disadvantage.
A little bit.
Okay. Well, should we do an experiment? Yeah, we should leave it up to science, We can't
Yeah.
just use our theory.
We gotta prove it.
Exactly. So we have here a squeaky ball. I'm going to ask you to run the same test on Arbor and I. You roll it past us a couple of times and toss it to us a couple of times. We'll see how it works. I will leave so I don't interrupt his
No cheating.
His test. No cheating. Yeah. All right. I'll pass you that. I'll get out of here.
Okay. Oh!
You got it. Good boy. Okay, do it again. Whoa. Good boy.
Ready? Oh! Oh!
No. Good block.
Good job.
All right, do it again.
So cute. Ooh! That was more of a bounce, but
Catch. Good catch. All right. No, leave Jeff alone. All right. He did okay. He did great, actually. My turn. Okay.
oh!
Okay. Well, I got it. Yeah. Expert. That's easier. This is easier for me as a human. I almost missed that one. That was almost embarrassing. Okay. so we've done our reaction time test, and who do you think won out of me or Arbor?
Nah, that one, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to give it to Arbor.
Oh, of course, right? That 25% faster.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah, just how could a human hope to compete with a dog? That's yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Just great. Just sorry. Thanks. Okay. Bye. Come on over.
I would have argued that I'd won that one, but I really just had to skedaddle after throwing that ball. Plus, I'll admit that Arbor can be really quick when he's focused. But okay, there's got to be some way that I can keep up with elves better than Arbor can.
You mentioned one of the elves' ability is grace. So why are elves so graceful?
Well, in the books, I think that Tolkien writes them as so graceful, in part because to put them like above man or like as better than men in terms of like their skills and such. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Some scholars say that it's like a sort of religious thing where elves are essentially men if they didn't fall from Eden is one of the like theoretical backgrounds there. But also in the actual like lore in the text, elves are the firstborn of Iluvatar, so they're like the first race that wakes up after the world is created. So they get a bunch of gifts and stuff because of it.
That classic firstborn bias.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They have an ego, kind of.
You
and
do
they,
see that, yeah.
Yeah, like I think like they were, at least in Tolkien's writing, like the first children of Iluvatar, and they know it. Like they'll rub your face in it sometimes, whether they mean to or not. Like, ooh, men in their silly outfits, except for this outfit, which is actually pretty cool. Actually, I think an elf would wear that probably.
Right? It's got a lot of like fluid motion, right? Like it's the Serpent of the Sea pink anime shirt from Geek Tropical, and it's super soft. You're gonna feel.
Oh, that is pretty soft. Well, I do think an elf would wear that for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know if to take that as a compliment or an insult after you said.
Well, you can have
go.
an ego about it though. That's their right is the thing that's
Yeah.
important there. Like they are as good as they think they are usually.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Why do you think elves are so graceful?
Their heightened senses, sure, right? Sort of being aware of the world around them, but also their communion with nature, being particularly strong. It would be interesting to put Legolas in New York City and see if it continued to be so gracefully. My hypothesis would be that he wouldn't. He might still be like not the clumsiest person, but he's not Legolas in the woods. If you take the elf out of the mythical forest, that they could lose a great deal of their abilities.
Are there any moments from Lord of the Rings that really showcase these special elven abilities?
Yeah, there are quite a few. For example, actually one of my favorite moments is from the book The Silmarillion, where elves are so frequently like fighting Balrogs like single-handedly and taking them down.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of Balrog fighting in the Silmarillion, and which is, you know, particularly notable because Gandalf, who's a full wizard, has trouble with just one. But,
Yeah, it makes his fight look a lot less impressive now.
yeah, it does actually. Yeah. But there's also stuff like in The Lord of the Rings, obviously. Elrond's healing abilities are known throughout, but also like the special swords that like are often forged by the elves. Aragorn's sword, which marks him as the true king of Gondor, was reforged by the elves. Glamdring, which is the sword that Gandalf wields, also forged by the elves. So there's a lot of like testament to their craft abilities, and then obviously also their combat abilities. A lot of people think about things from the movies that aren't in the text but are still like have become kind of embedded in our minds, like Legolas shield surfing and shooting a bunch of orcs, which, you know, does have some of the spirit of elves being like really good at combat, but, you know, maybe it isn't exactly what Tolkien first envisioned.
He didn't write in a shield slide?
No, he wasn't the kind of guy to write shield slide. I think, yeah, it's like the scene where he talks about, where Gollum's talking about potatoes, Gollum and Sam talk about potatoes, that's taken from the book verbatim, but a lot of Helm's Deep was made up. So that's the kind of writer that Tolkien was. So yeah, you get a lot of, I think, in the books particularly, a lot of the elves' more crafting abilities and their abilities to like heal and help are actually more what's highlighted.
In a way, I don't want to say the was it the Mumako? What are they called? The Oliphant in movie terms. You know, he slides off it and all that kind of thing. Or when Legolas is stabbing things with his arrow, remember? Because and then he slid down on his shield. Like, it started to be kind of like, oh, you like that? Let's show it. You like that? We'll do it again. And so it was really awesome the first time when he like swept around and on up, and you're like, yes. But even the subtle things. I actually remember in Fellowship of the Ring, the first time I noticed that Legolas was walking on the snow, and everybody else was trudging through the pass of Caradhras, and they were deep in the snow, and he, of course, walked on, which is straight out off the page. I like that, and again, that sort of literal his connection to the natural world, and that he exists as part of a winter landscape in a way that even Wizard Gandalf and the dwarves and the hobbits, who are, you know, just can't, because he's an elf.
Because he's an elf.
With no Oliphant to serve and Arbor not having the hands for archery, we need a different test of grace. And this is one that I definitely have a leg up for. Time to meet at Vocab Athletic Arts for the final competition.
My name is Jillian Moon, and I am an aerialist. I spend a lot of time in the air, upside down. I love spinning, and it's all part of an art form that I use in theater and circus. Are you ready?
Come here.
Really got the zoomies this morning.
Chaos energy is not a problem with this creature. Is it? Are you ready? Okay, elves are about being calm. Thanks for meeting us here today.
My pleasure.
To talk about all things elves and grace, and how you make really hard things look easy. So how do you make really hard things look easy?
You do them a lot.
Oh, do you hear that, Arbor? Arbor, we have to practice, okay?
Repetition is key.
So what are some things that you do in order to like train for making things look easy, other than doing it a lot?
Upper body strength is incredibly important in the aerials, as well as body tension in general. So really working your arms and your core and hip flexors.
Ah, okay. Arbor, you ready to do some curls? Or some push-ups? Or would you mind leading us through a couple of exercises so we
Sure.
can work on this this strength?
All right, so we're gonna start with some push-ups, and we're gonna do tricep push-ups instead of the traditional, because triceps are what you use a lot in aerials.
Ah, okay.
So all the way down, and then you're going to bring yourself forward just a little bit, and then down. Keep your core elbows in, and then nice and slow back up.
Okay. Think.
Arbor, do you think you can do this?
Arbor, no. Okay, Arbor, your push-up time. Okay, ready? Sit. Okay, down. Up. Come here. Up. Okay, there we go. Okay, come here. Come here, sassy boy. Come on. Okay. Oh, I know, you were all calm and then this happened again. Okay. Okay, come here. Okay, sit. Dog push-ups, ready? Oh yeah, down. Up. Forward. Okay. Sit. Down. Up. No. Nope.
Well, that one's next.
That's next? Oh, okay, he's
Yes.
ahead of the game.
He's
All
ahead of the game.
So what's next?
So we can do a lot of core exercises. So we use a hollow position. All right, so if we lay down on our bellies and lift up your arms and your legs, and then you can roll over, keeping your hands and your legs off the ground.
What's over there?
I bet Arbor could do a roll over.
Arbor could. You want to try? Okay. Ready? Roll. Keep going. You can do it.
This way.
Come on. Arbor, you know
Come
how
on,
to
buddy.
do this.
Oh, good job.
Good boy. Okay, come here. Okay. Sit. Just try not to be in front of him. Down. Roll. Yeah, there you go. Okay, sit. Down. Oh, come here. Come here. Over here. This way. This way. Okay. Okay, good. Down. Roll. Yeah, go, go, go. Well, you stopped on your
halfway
back,
there.
right? You know?
Yeah.
Over. But
I think he needs
usually
some
I
more
can't-
practice.
I think he needs some more practice too. I usually can't get him to stop on his back, so he's doing a different skill, eh? All right, I gotta practice too, Arbor. Are you gonna come back? Come here. No? Can I do this? Are you gonna let me? Oh.
So lift up your arms and your legs. Stretch out and roll over.
Over. I'll roll away from him. Okay.
Nice job.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for that assist. Yeah. Was that an assist? Or are you trying to sabotage me? Yeah. Come here. Come here. Come. Yeah. I think he's trying to sabotage me. We've been
Okay.
competing all day. He's won the last two, but the upper body thing I think really got to him. Come here.
I was intimidated by push-ups, I can understand.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Do dogs have triceps?
You know, I'm not a dog anatomist, so I'm unsure, but I imagine they have a similar muscle.
They probably. Okay, go. Ha, gotcha. So we've warmed up our body a little bit. I'm sure you have to do a bit more in reality.
Absolutely.
But what would be a stretch that you might do?
So it's really important to keep the mobility in your shoulders as well. So how about a puppy stretch? Like this. Melting your chest down towards the floor and keeping your hips nice and high.
Knees together?
Knees together.
Hey, sabotage. Okay, you're okay. Can you stretch with us?
I saw you doing it earlier, Arbor.
One thing he does not do is stretch on command.
Wow. But we'll have to work on that.
Okay, well, I think I feel ready.
Great.
Should we try
Try some things in the air.
some things in the air? So, we have our hoop.
We have our
now,
hoop.
Or called a lyra.
This is called a lyra or aerial hoop.
Okay. And I think you have a cool beginner move.
I'm going to show you a way to get into the hoop.
Okay.
So we're
I'll
gonna-
get out of your way.
Hold onto the hoop like it's a baseball bat. Pull down, create tension throughout your body to invert and hook your leg in.
So graceful. Okay. Yeah, I think I got this. And I think Arbor's jealous. I can hear him whining, but I think he'd be a little chaotic for this. Okay. Hold like a baseball bat. Engage upper body.
Straddle and hook. Beautiful.
And up. Stay up. Stay down.
You can stay down, stay up.
Okay.
How'd that feel?
Graceful exit. But yeah, not bad. Yeah. But
So I can show you two things. One of them is you do a pose underneath with that,
Okay.
or you climb up and get in.
okay. I think let's climb up and get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, holding like a baseball bat.
Okay.
Pull up, straddle, bring one leg in, one hand up, second hand up, bring your knees together to roll in.
That was so graceful. Okay. Wow, so that's very similar to that scene in Lord of the Rings where Legolas like whoops up and underneath the horse and like gets. Is that a reasonable way to mount a horse?
I don't ride horses,
Okay.
but one of the cool things about Elves and Legolas is that they make it look like he's defying gravity. Gravity still applies to us humans.
Ah, right.
But with some strength and practice, you can make it look a little bit like you're flying, which is kind of the magic of aerial arts.
True. Okay, I'll give it a try. Okay, remember all the steps.
Body tension,
Body tension.
straddle, and hook. Beautiful. Hand, knees together, roll towards me.
Roll towards. How do I roll?
Oh no!
Hi. Oh, that way.
This way. Yes. Beautiful.
Stuck.
Oh.
Hey, that's cheating, Arbor. Oh, did you want to be involved? Is that what's going on?
I think that's what's going on.
I guess what's going on. Okay. We might need help though. Jeff, could you come give us a hand here?
Sorry, question.
That's Nick's. Hi, buddy. Welcome back. All right. Now, we gotta work together on this, I think, okay? Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna get Arbor to put his paws up here.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready, buddy?
Ready? Come here. Paws up, paws up. No. Good job, buddy. You're almost as tall as me.
Yeah. Go work, Arbor.
Good job, buddy. Okay, I think he might be done.
That's totally fair.
So, thank you, Jeffrey. So I think I've learned a fair bit about just how tough it is to make hard things look graceful.
Yeah, you want to be stronger than the move, if that makes any sense.
Stronger than the move. That does make sense.
So you build lots of muscles so that when you're doing movement, you can express because it is easy. It's not on the edge of your abilities.
That makes sense. And that practice takes a lot of time and repetition.
Repetition over and over again. It's in your body so that later on you can add expression and grace.
I should probably go find Arbor.
Okay.
But thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Excellent.
Well, I guess neither of us are very elf-like in the end. I don't have the eyesight or reaction time, and you definitely don't have the patience. I wonder if that's because dogs have such a short lifespan. I mean, without the immortality of the elves, who would have the patience to not charge at aerialist full speed repeatedly or nap through all the interviews? But we've just got to remember what Jillian Moon said, right, Arbor? Right? She said elven grace is just like acrobats making hard stuff look easy. It's all about dedication, hard work, and repetition. But I'm pretty tired right now. I guess that's something we can both agree on, eh? What do you say? Extended edition?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's amazing. I was trying to not go, whoa,
Yeah,
oh my God.
I was like, I realized I was holding my breath. Oh, it's because I would be freaking out.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.